Hey everyone, welcome back to Painted. I am Maury Curtis Dunbar, owner and creative mind behind Painted Studio here in Brookfield, Illinois. And today we're going to work on a couple furniture projects. The last few days you've seen me doing a lot of little crafts, a lot of fun things like that. Well, I have some bigger jobs. Sorry, my hair is in my eyes, and it's when I look up into the camera, it's making me get hair in my actual eye. Hey Barbara, hey Carmelina, nice to see you here. So we're actually going to work on a couple things. This is a dumpster dive rescue by a friend of mine, and I needed a table for my window. Now I'm going to zoom in on this table a little bit. So, sorry, we're way high. You can see that this surface is not pretty. When I do projects, let me pull it back out. When I do projects, normally I'm going to sit down so you're not looking up my nose. Normally what I do is I'm going to clean it, sand it, prep it perfect. Well, this table, honest to God, was such a mess that water caused one product on here to get gooey. Mineral spirits caused something else on here to get gooey. Alcohol turned another thing on here gooey. From what I've been able to determine is that part of the leather top has been stripped off. There's glue under here. Somebody put shellac on it. Somebody put chalk paints on it. Somebody put all. I'll post the picture in the thread of how weird this table looked when I got it. And I finally just cleaned it off best I could, sanded it a little bit, and put a coat of black set coat on it. I'm not planning to sell it. This is a window display for my studio window, but it's a great teaching tool. So literally just one coat of black set coat. I did not put a second coat on here because I'm going to foil the whole thing. So the first thing I need to do is deal with the top of this, which is messy. And as you can see, I have a big lazy Susan under here, which makes things much easier working on a piece of furniture. And all this is a little kids IKEA table that I took apart and put a large Lazy Susan spinning disc underneath it, and it is probably one of the most useful tools I have here in the studio because now I can paint at a level that I don't have to either hunch over or sit on the ground or lift really heavy things way up high. So the first thing I need to do is fix this tabletop. Now there's lots of things I can do. I could do a tight backfill, let it dry, which I normally would do. This is going to be a down and dirty table, so I'm not going for 2 layers, I'm going 1. And I'm going to take Faux Effects Venetian Gem in Onyx, and yes, this will be listed above you, and I know you all can't see the can from here. And then I'm going to take my trowel. I could use smaller trowels, and I could use other ways. Ooh, it's wet. But we're just going to do a texture on the tabletop to hide all this ugly mess, because I don't need to foil this messiness and make every flaw highlighted. So I'm just going to get in here. This table, the spinning top table is like so happy for me. I can do stuff like this. It's like putting, a cake on a Lazy Susan to frost it. So this is Venetian Gem Black. If you're not familiar with, or black, or Onyx, I should say. If you're not familiar with Faux Effects products, Venetian Gem is their synthetic Venetian plaster, and I use it for all kinds of stuff with furniture. I could use it as a plaster itself. I can stencil with it, but I also use it to fill grain and to fill in weird textures because it trowels on super smooth and then doesn't shrink back so much and doesn't crack. So I can get a nice fill on here and not worry that if I've built it up high, it's going to crack on me. It's 100% acrylic. and made in the USA down in Fort Pierce, Florida, for those who don't know that. So we're not importing products. We're bringing, they're American made, which I'm always very proud of being able to say. And then we're just going to fill this in, and you can see already you can see it's wet and shiny, I think, from where you all are, but I'm just seeing this god-awful texture disappearing. And once again, I am really far from the camera, so when you're asking questions today, until I get that camera closer to me, I cannot see them. Don't worry, post them anyway. I will answer them. They'll be typed in to the comments section where you're commenting as soon as I post this on Facebook. Afterwards, I know it's a live on Facebook, but for those who've never done a live, you actually have to post it afterwards if you want it to stay on your page. So I'm getting this whole surface filled in. I love this table. It just makes my life so much easier. I don't know how I got the idea for it. I just was driving along one day thinking, God, I need something to do my furniture on. And I literally drove by somebody's abandoned play table on the side of the street. Took it home, hosed it down, made sure it wasn't full of something I didn't want in my house. Now, you do have plenty of nice work time with this product. And there's, occasionally I find a little chunk of stuff. It's a classroom quart, so it gets open and closed and used a lot. All right, let me make sure I've got enough product on here because I'm going to run a roller through it to give a little texture that distracts from the bad texture and anything that I've missed. And there's a little lip right here, which is why I keep having to go back over this. Because right in here was where the leather top was. So we don't have exactly dead even here, but it won't matter. In the long run, it will not matter. I just need to make sure I got enough product on here to roll the rollers through it. No bald spots. I've scraped some areas thinner than others, so that means I need to go put a little more product on here because I can see where it's drying already. And when I trowel, for those who are not familiar with troweling, my trowel is somewhere between a 15 and 30 degree angle. It's never flat down, it's always slightly on an angle, because if I put it flat down, it just sucks down to the surface and you don't get anything that's smooth. All right, so I've got that there. It's all rolled out. And we're gonna take our Lotus roller. My handles are all right behind me. And always check to make sure it's spinning free. And I'm just going to take this and roll it right through. And as you can see, I'm not trying to match it up. I'm just trying to make sure that the edges of my pattern align. I don't care if the pattern itself is matched up, because you're not going to be able to tell that later. Now, when you start building up on a trowel like this, you're going to take a rag or something along those lines, and you're just going to offload a little bit so it doesn't build up too much on your surface and give you funny pull marks. And there we go. then I just got this last little, I have to roll that, I think, by hand. And I got a little thin spot there, but I am not touching it. I got this whole surface covered with the lotus pattern. It's laid in. I'm leaving it alone. So let me go throw this out of the way, and then I'm going to move the table, and we'll start on the other one. So now this one has to, this one has to dry completely. So that's an overnight dry. And it's a light table, so I can lift it with no problem. I'm just trying to lift it without leaning against the pattern and screwing that up. All right, I did that impressively well for me. And I'm gonna go into my hot box, which, by the way, everybody asks about the hot box. This thing over here, that's the hot box. It's a hydroponic tent. There is a little heater attached to it that's only used when it's on, and then it keeps that space hot, and I can speed dry times for things like this live. All right. And here's our next table. Yay! All right, I'm gonna bring this down, bring it a little closer. Alrighty. Now, things are going to get a little bouncy while I adjust the gooseneck here, so if you're prone to seasickness, look away. Okay, so we have the little table here, bringing it up. Again, I'm just moving the tripod around to get the best angle for you all to see what I'm doing. Sorry for the bouncing. All right, so this is a little telephone table that a friend dumpster picked for me. God bless my friends who dumpster pick. I'm not that patient. It's got a coat of navy blue metallic set coat on it. And I'm gonna do this whole thing. Now this is an experiment piece in that we know set coat is exterior rated, but the foil adhesive is not. Well, I'm doing this for my backyard. So we're gonna see just over the end of terms of the summer, just how exterior stuff holds up and what happens with the interior. And I'm lower because we're going to work on this leg in the center here. All right, there we go. I'm a little crooked. Sorry about that, everybody. Give me a second to straighten that out. I need one of those. I really just need one of those cameras, tripods that you can just zoom everything in and out and go zzz, zzz. But I haven't found one that works for what I need yet. All right, I'm gonna close that up, and we are going to use our brand new, gorgeous blue-green tie-dye on this because I thought this would be so great. And really what this table is going to be is the side table for the hammock in my backyard, because we all climb into the hammock with a drink and an iPad or something like that. We have no place to set it down, especially if one of the dogs wants to come up in with us. So I figured I'd make this into a garden table, and then I could also use it as a test for how long. Foil adhesive is not exterior rated, so I wanted to see what the breakdown rate was on it. And these, I don't know if they're interior, exterior. They're clothing, so they're going to be able to take a lot of fade, but I have no idea how they're going to handle direct sunlight, so I wanted to check all of that. I like to have that information when people ask me. So the first thing I'm going to do is wrap it around here. And your undercolor's important because foils never release 100% perfectly. So if you know, you're not going to get 100% perfect release. You want a color under there that enhances your foil, not detracts from it. And I'm just going to take this and kind of scrunch it on the leg. And I'm going to take my brush. Actually, I want to take the softer brush and do that. Oops, don't stick your hand in the adhesive more. Even like a handprint in there that you won't be able to get a good foil release on. Again, perfect release is not the aim. The aim is to get the idea. Wow. Oh, okay. First of all, every surface that hit the foil adhesive released really, really well. So this is a beautiful foil with great release. And we all know the foil adhesive from Artistic Painting Studio, her Artsyville foil adhesive is just freaking amazing. I like how this is going to be so pretty. So we're going to release the tops and the legs today and the sides. And then we'll do the other tomorrow, the rest of it tomorrow, and we're going to go back to the table tomorrow to do the foil top and all the other stuff. I'm like a foil maniac. I brought so many gorgeous foils in, but I just can't stay away from them. So we're going to just keep foiling and foiling and foiling. Yeah, Gigi, isn't that gorgeous? Oh. And I'm glad I found some time today. Y'all are so excited about the new foils. It kept me busy all morning shipping. Not a complaint, mind you. Don't get me wrong. That is not a complaint. Matter of fact, I wanted to make sure I said to everybody who's been ordering from us, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't tell you how much we appreciate your business. It means the world to us. I literally do little happy dances every time I get to fill an order. I put on my favorite songs to help pack the boxes. So you're getting happy boxes from me as well as wonderful products. Y'all are fantastic. So what's everybody's current playlist while they're working? I posted this to the page, but I thought I might ask too. You know, what are you all listening to while you work? I have generally got a very eclectic taste. Some 80s, some 90s, some rock, some alternative, one or two country, which would shock the heck out of anybody who knows me. But the country songs have a little bit of sentimental value. I am not a country music person personally. But today was Oingo Boingo and Lana Del Rey and Thomas Dolby. Let's see. Billie Eilish. All kinds of stuff going on in my playlist. Like in my head, there's always a lot going on. And for those who were gonna, I know because you always do, are gonna ask me about the construction of this table. And I know you can't see everything I'm doing because I'm now down below the screen level. Let me come down a little bit, just so I know you can see this. Again, I'm on a gooseneck tripod, so that's the bounce. It makes it a little, I know when I watch somebody on a gooseneck tripod moving things, it's a little, it makes me a little seasick. So I will understand completely if this is a little queasy making for some of you too. All right, let me get in here with my toothbrush. And I'm gonna turn this a little bit so you can see, because I gotta get back to, oh, I didn't put this in the center so that it just turns where you can see it. I put it off center, folks. I need to turn this around so I can see the spots where I missed with the foil. So we're gonna go back up high again. I may back you all up a little bit so you can see the more complete picture of what I'm doing. There you go. And as soon as I do this base, I'm going to flip the camera towards me, read everybody's question, and then we're going to move the camera up higher again and do the top. But I mean, this foil is just so pretty, and I think it's going to make, I mean, who wouldn't love this combo in a garden? Which is really where mine's going, but look at how beautiful. It's like, it's called tie-dye, but it would make a great metallic camo in your yard or in your house. Once again, fair warning, foil adhesive not exterior rated. I don't know what's going to happen to it. I don't know how it's going to last. I don't know how it's going to break down. We're going to find that out this summer. This is my summer to test the light fastness of all kinds of things and the weather complexity of it. All right, let's see. Sorry, folks, this is, you all know I had back surgery, so sometimes I get into positions that are really hard for me to maintain. And this actually, believe it or not, is one of them. I had muscles that shortened up in my legs a little bit, and I haven't been able to get them to stay consistently stretched out. So getting my legs around this table can be a little challenging. Yes, was that more information than you wanted? Probably. That's me, TMI. All right, let me get back here. Oh yeah, this is just coming out so nicely. And all I'm doing back here is filling in the places that I missed as I was spinning the table and getting to all of the areas. And then I'm going to top coat this with an exterior rated top coat. So really the test for the whole summer is going to be the light fastness of the foils and how well the foil adhesive holds up when protected with exterior rated product. For all I know, all the color could bleed and fade out in a week. I've never tried this before. For all I know is that the foil adhesive could start crumbling and cracking under the. I don't know. I've never tried it. We're going to find out. If somebody else has tried it, left stuff in a well-exposed area, and mine will be sort of exposed, will be under trees. In here, let's turn this around and see if I missed any spots up top. And no, I will not be glittering this. I think I can only put stuff with glitter so many times around my husband before he starts looking like, really? It's just not glitter something. Of course, I could teach him to do some of this, and then he could avoid the whole glitter conversation altogether. But I think he likes my surprises. At least that's the feeling I have gotten after all these years of being married to him. Might roll his eyes, but I know he's still around, so I got to be entertaining him somehow. And no smart remarks for me saying that. All right, I'm going to move the camera up, and we're going to get to the top because I finished the leg, but just, I mean, look how cool that leg looks. Jeez. Let me pull this up. Sorry for the shaking. Let's see if I can get that so you can see the top. There we go. I can get the text message at the top of the screen out of my way so I don't have to look at that. Okay, so the other thing you have to know about this little table is it's got a drawer in the front. Let me shift my camera. It's still not where I want it to be so you can see well. There's a little drawer here, and it did not come out. It's actually firmly in there. I tried to pull it out and it wouldn't come out. I took a hammer and tried to drag it out. It is designed never to come out. So I didn't bother to paint the inside of the drawers. I touched up the outside. It's not a great job. I don't care about the drawer. It's not the important part of this. So I will put, however, make sure I can open it, make sure I can close it. I mean, why would you have a drawer on a table that you can't use? It's kind of a waste. So I'll make sure it's functional, but I don't really care what the inside of the drawer is going to look like. Now, mind you, when I do these things for clients, you better believe I care what the inside of the drawer looks like. I care how everything is. When I do something like this casually for me, I am a lot more forgiving of my own flaws. Otherwise known as I'm a little sloppier. But I also know what I can tolerate and what, for me, as just a throw together piece as opposed to something that I would expect someone to pay me for. All right, so I've got foil adhesive, the foil over the foil adhesive on the top. I didn't worry about smoothing it down too perfectly. I'm trying to get the edges where I overlap, but I didn't get this edge, so I'm not scrubbing there because I don't want to have any issues of seams. Okay, that's how well this releases. Now it's going to need more over it because there's some patch spots that I have to get into. Obviously, happens every time, especially when you have a not even surface. I'm dealing with a frame and a lip here. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to take my toothbrush and then I'll just go along here. Let's see, get in there, that corner. Oh yeah, that's nice. I just want to release a little more. There's some flawed release spots that I want to look at a little more, and that has nothing to do with the foil. It has everything to do with the fact that I laid it on and it crumpled. So let's see if I can get a little fill in those spots. Oh yeah, perfect. Just the way I wanted it. Happiness is. Now I'm going to take the edge of this piece and I'm going to foil here. A toothbrush also helps me get into these little tiny detail edges. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Good release right there. Alrighty, look at that. It is also very warm in here because the hot box is going. Actually, let me unplug it. Save my, turn it off, stop the hum, stop generating heat that I don't need in here. That's all a woman in her 50s needs, is be in a hot room that doesn't need to be hot. Oh my Lord. Okay, so let's get some more foil. And as you know, we never throw our foil scraps away. What we don't use on projects ends up as extraneous packing material. So you never know what you open a box, what you're going to get. We recycle, we reuse boxes, we reuse packing material. We try really hard to not make more of a mess with packing and shipping materials than is already out there in the world. I prefer to reuse and recycle as much as possible. Yeah. Oh, these are coming in very nicely. I want to get it in this corner here, because corner that needed a little attention earlier. Nice, 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 nice. Come over on this side. Get this edge. Gosh, this really, I mean, just look how clean those releases are. That's so nice. I remember years ago when everybody was starting to use foils, you couldn't get a clean release. You couldn't even get enough release to make your pattern look normal. Get in that little corner right in there. Real point that needs a little attention right in there. In the last 10 years or so, the formulations for foil adhesive have improved, and Jennifer, the Artsyville foil adhesive is truly the best foil adhesive I've ever used. And I've tried pretty much everyone's. So I use what I know works well. That way I don't have to fight I don't have to fight the job. All right, so look how cute that tabletop is. I mean, it's just wonderful modeled. It almost has like a Monet water lilies lily pad-ish kind of feel. Okay, I'm gonna work on the sides a little bit, and then I'm gonna come over there for a second and take a look at your questions and comments. And remember, please sprinkle the love. I am gearing up for a contest, and the more sprinkles we get, the more chances there are to win. So please sprinkle the love. All right, I'm doing the back of this one. I get a nice smooth release here. Where's my scrubber? It's down in front here. Toothbrush, not my personal toothbrush, my studio scrubbing toothbrush. Somebody said, do you brush your teeth after you use that toothbrush? No, I don't. The studio toothbrush, that cracked me up though. And I will admit that was a little kid. They saw the pile of toothbrushes. Why do you have all your toothbrushes here in the studio, lady? They're not toothbrushes for your teeth. They're toothbrushes for jobs like this. And by the way, everybody, happy Cinco de Mayo. I know we're not all out celebrating the way we normally would, but we can still celebrate. We can still have some fun. Have a margarita, make yourself a taco, and enjoy the company of those around you. Alrighty, now I'm gonna get in right in here. Why do I need to get right into that spot? Because that's where I messed with the blue paint and the little bit of farmhouse red that was underneath it was peeking through, and I don't want to see that. So I want to make sure that area is completely covered. All right, I'm gonna get the back. I need a little more foil. And so this is one of these things that I wanted to bring up as I'm doing this today, is you can have a small table like this and it looks like it's got deceptively little surface area. But you can see I am generously using my foils. I have a couple pieces that still have a lot of color on it, but you can also use a lot of foil on a furniture project very easily because you have way more surface area to cover than you'd ever realize. So if I'm going by this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've already probably gone through 6 square feet of foil to do this, and I'm going to use more because it's going to take more. It just does. Now, if you look here on the back, I have a little edge here. This foil wasn't quite wide enough, so I don't scrub all the way to this edge, because then I get a harsh line when I pull it and have to put more foil down. I only blend partly. You can see if you look here, the edge is a little ragged, and that makes it so that I can lay this piece on here like this, buff it in, scrub it in, find me a brush, scrub it in, and it will not leave a seam. You see? No seam. All right, so I'm gonna finish up these little details here. We'll get to the front. I really like this. You know, I may come in tomorrow and look at it and say, I've got enough foil on it, and we're gonna just leave it the rest of this blue. I have no idea. I make these ideas for myself, and then somewhere in the middle of the night, in a dream, they change, and I come in and I do something different. I mean, it's half the time it's not really even a conscious thought, it just happens. I'm sure it's happened to all of you. You got a great idea, and then you go to sleep and you wake up with a new great idea. All right. You get one little spot right there. Just this little chatter there. All right. Get that last corner. Let's see where I'm at missing on this side. I missed a lot of this bottom over here. Why didn't you all tell me I was missing so much of the bottom edge here? Now the cool thing about this foil adhesive is it stays sticky forever. The challenging thing about the foil adhesive is it stays sticky forever. So when you use this foil adhesive, no matter what, unless you like things that stay sticky forever, after you've released your foil, you need to top coat. Okay, now this is going to be a little interesting because the drawer is right here. And I'm not kidding, you can watch me. Oh my God, it came out. Do you know, I have been pulling this darn thing all afternoon and it wouldn't come out. I almost punched myself in the face with it. Well, I guess I can finish up these edges and I can clean the edges up in there. And I guess, okay, I surprised myself a little there. All right. At least if I didn't entertain you, I just entertained the hell out of myself. I don't know about anybody else, but that is not what I expected. I can't even begin to explain how many times I have pulled on that drawer today. All right, I know you can't really see me here. Let me see if I can get into the frame a little bit. So we're going to take this drawer. Man, this is going to be easier with the drawer down. I'm going to push it on in here. I got to work it around into the framing. I'm sorry, I'm really amused by myself right now because that was the dumbest thing ever. I'm getting a little punchy. I guess we've all been alone a little too much lately. All right. Yeah, I'm going to be laughing at myself the whole rest of the evening. I'm going to go home and my husband's going to be laughing at me. Yeah, that's what's going to be happening. I need a little more full brush coverage here. Oh yeah, that's releasing so pretty. And then I'm going to shove it down in here into the crevices. And honestly, this is where I truly don't want a perfect release because I want the details of the green foil and the blue paint to enhance each other. It almost acts like a little bit like an antiquing thing without, well, I don't know if that's the most accurate description, but really what it is, you know, when you antique something, you put a coating on it, and it builds up in the corners, and then you wipe it off the high spots. Well, that's kind of how this is working on this right now. There is no foil adhesive on the sides of this drawer because I didn't think I could get it out. I was going to pull it out and do the size of the drawer later after I put stuff in a little, dealt with the other problems of the front, but the other challenges of the front, but yeah. Okay, I got to show you this. Look how cute that drawer is. And you can see right in here that there is still blue paint showing, but it's got great, it just sets this off really, really well. So I'm going to take some of my foil. I don't need to cut a new piece. I'm moving this drawer out of my way. I'm going to come up here and get into all these spots. There's going to be a lot of spots that I have to put foil adhesive on tomorrow now that I got the drawer out. Yes, that's just so pretty. I don't care. First of all, I'm thrilled that I got the drawer out because that means I can finish painting it. And you can see I started to paint the sides of the drawer because this is how far out I was able to pull it all day. So I'll hit a little sandpaper here, finish painting it blue, and then I can paint the inside to the blue to match. So this is actually the color this started out, this barnwood red. I'm just gonna go home and laugh at myself for the rest of the night after I'm done here. And when I come back in after this is, you know, I go home tonight and look back at, because I love coming back the next day and looking at something with fresh eyes. It gives me a chance to see what I've missed, what needs to be corrected. But when I come back on this tomorrow, it's going to be awesome. Now I am going to turn this over, and there are ball feet on the bottom of this. So the last thing I need to do on this for today, I forgot about the feet, is do the ball feet. So I'm going to take this, and now that it's got foil all over the adhesive, I can just grab it, turn it upside down, take anything that might damage the top off the surface of the table. I'm going to cut myself a little more foil. Now, if you're a person who does a lot of small projects, when your foil starts looking like this, don't throw that out because there's tons of usable stuff in here. When I'm doing big surfaces like this, I need full pieces. I need more release. So I'm going to wrap this around the feet. All right, I'm going to straighten this camera out because it wants to be just sitting. It keeps sliding back from a straight angle to a crooked angle. Sorry about that, everybody. All right. Oh, yeah. And I know on the feet I may have spots that I missed because I had put adhesive on so much other stuff I couldn't lift it up and turn it upside down to get at it like I'm doing now. So I'll leave this upside down tonight to remind myself to come in and redo the feet in the morning and touch up any spots that I didn't have adhesive on. And there's you know, a bunch. You can't see them from here because they're all sort of on the inside. But they are there. Let me tell you, they're there. I just do the feet like I was doing the Easter egg. I wrap it in the foil and then just maul them. Rub my hands all over it. That's more effective on a round surface, I've found, than a brush. Let's get. Usually I can get four shapes like this out of a square foot of foil. Go in here. See what I missed. think I got most of this. So there's just spots I can tell that I have to come back in here and touch up, but that's okay. That's what you do. All right, let me turn the camera my way. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera up just a little so you're not looking. Sorry for my hand. I'm looking at my nose. All right, let me come back, go through this, see if I have any questions that you want to ask. And Carmelita, is it a heavy-duty lazy Susan? Want to make one? Is it repurposed mechanism or new? Okay, answering to all your questions. The table is an IKEA kids play table, and the base is a cross section like this. And the center part is very easy to mount a Lazy Susan mechanism that you just buy from Home Depot. I didn't worry so much about the weight, I worried about the width because the top is so wide. If this, I could get a center mechanism this big that would hold 250 pounds, but that meant the table was wobbly. So I went and bought something that was like for 800 pounds because the mechanism was wider and that allowed it to spin more evenly. The whole project cost me $8. It took me an hour in my studio once I cleaned it. So it's a really easy project. And somewhere on this page from years ago when I actually built it, there are pictures of it. I'll see if I can find them and repost, or at least post them here in this thread so you can see what I did. Let's see, go back here. Go back. All right, you guys are all so complimentary. I can't believe. Oh, you're excited to know you can use metallic paints under foils. Okay, here. Let me give you the go-to on using metallic paints. I'm using Set Coat, which is from Faux Effects, which dries very hard. If you're going to use something like Modern Masters metallic paints or Faux Effects Metal Glow, you have to let it dry much longer because they're more plasticky and they have more give. So that if you don't let it dry enough, I mean, give it 24 hours. So if it doesn't dry hard enough, when you put the foil adhesive over there and pull the foil, you can actually stretch the paint off of the surface and then pull it back. That's what the deal is with those kinds of paints. Set Coat, never a problem. It dries hard. Metal Glow and Modern Masters, they tend to be stretchy. So make sure you give it enough dry time. 24 hours at the very least before you put a layer of foil adhesive on it. Trust me, I know. I've done it the wrong way. I made my own life so hard. All right. What are you sealing the foil with for exterior? I'm going to use Faux Effects C500. I'm going to put an isolating layer on. Maybe not. I may not have to because I'm not going to use glaze or anything delicate, and C500 can be slightly co-solvent, meaning it can dissolve delicate work. I'm not doing that, so I should be just fine using C500 straight over it. I am not using a top coat with a UV protectant on purpose. I want to see how this holds up with just plain old sunlight on it. I want to see the rate of the fade on the foil, and I want to see the rate of the breakdown on the adhesive. This is a personal experiment for me. I'm not recommending anybody else do it without a top coat that has UV protectant in it. There are plenty of them out there. Faux Effects makes them, Modern Masters makes them, a whole lot of people make them. So if you're going to try this outside, don't do the top coat I'm going to do one with UV protectant and make sure it's exterior rated. Lori, the hot box, that's this big black thing behind me. And again, I'll show you, this is the inside of it. It's a hydroponic tent. There are vents top and bottom, and we put the heater, attach the hose to it so that it blows hot air into there. This is not OSHA approved. Don't think this is something that you can just, put in and it'll run forever. This is what I would call a portable hot box. So it means I'm going to have to, tape up the thing once in a while, make sure it's all safe. And I always make sure it's off when I don't need it on because it generates quite a bit of heat, but it also, space heaters, if you're not watching them, are fire hazards. Doesn't matter how good they're. Space heaters, you got to make sure you turn it off so we don't have any accidents. Let's see. Thank you, everybody, for sprinkling. Thank you so much. Susan, you're loving getting started with the foils. You will find that you can put them on everything. I liked foils before I started carrying them for a studio for sale. I'm now completely addicted to them. All right. All right, everybody. I think I've answered all your questions. We're down to 2 people watching now. I think you've all had enough of me talking. Thank you so much. Have a great Tuesday. Stay healthy, stay safe, and thank you for your business, and thank you for your sprinkles. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.